Alex Alonso está aquí.
Hello, Karsten.
Good morning. How are you
Morning.
doing?
Good morning, Srini.
Hey, Pierre. Very good
Ciao.
morning. Good evening.
Yeah, it's here. It's 4 p.m. So actually,
That's why I said good evening.
yeah. Yes, that's right.
Srini, could
Yes.
you please pronounce your last name for me once? Did I say it correctly?
Since you said very correctly Srini, it's the same Srini Srinivasan. Just add Vasan to the Srini.
Srinivasan. Okay,
Yes.
great.
Srini
Very easy.
Srinivasan. Very good.
Absolutely perfect. Could you also shortly try to your presentation if you can share your screen?
Yeah, I will do it right now.
Melissa, a las 9:05 recuerda de pedir los datos.
Okay.
Can you see my screen?
Yeah, perfectly.
Yes.
Great. You have a video as well, or is it just a presentation?
Just a presentation. I kept it simple because I know videos always cause a lot of problems. So I just removed the video so we can always
Perfect.
talk.
That works well. Thank you.
Yeah. I stop sharing. You're muted.
Hi, Srini. I'm Julian. I'm part of the university. Yes, thank you.
Hi, Julian.
Very nice to meet you. I'm going to put a loop of from the beginning of the conference, and then I'm going to put 2 videos of the introduction, and then Karsten is going to read the brief summary of you two, so we can start. All right?
Okay. Thank you.
I'm going to shut my screen and see you at the end.
All right. See you at the end.
Thank you. Okay, Srini, it's early morning, I think. What time is it?
I already finished another meeting. So for me, it's mid-morning. For me, it's already mid-morning. You know that always, right? My day starts at 5 a.m. with meeting. So
wow, that's incredible.
Not just one day, most of the days. So Carsten, you're based in which city?
Mexico City.
Mexico City, okay. Right.
Yeah, I'm teaching here at Anáhuac as well. But originally, I was born in the Netherlands, studied.
That's what I thought. I saw that little trace of the, the Dutch.
Yeah, I studied in Design Academy Eindhoven.
Eindhoven, okay.
Yeah, and then I moved here to Mexico to live with my wife.
Oh, okay. ¿Hablar español?
Un poquito, sí.
Un poquito.
But it's a tricky language, I must say.
No, actually, I'm learning, and hopefully in maybe another 2-3 months, I might be able to speak more fluently. So.
That's great. I have to also allocate a lot more time for it, to be honest.
Yeah, since I get up this morning, if there is no meeting, I practice my Spanish. So
it's basically a procrastination.
That's right.
Oh, that's great.
So do you know how many people are, there are 73 participants, okay. Do you know there are going to be more?
It should become a lot more, to be honest.
Okay.
Srini, short question, how long is your presentation, more or less, that I keep time?
Probably half an hour. I'll try to keep it less than that, but I'll go quickly. I have some 26 slides, so if I take a minute for a slide, it should be done by 20 minutes.
Cool. Then I'll let you both first do your presentation, and then we see how much time is left for questions.
Yeah, so I don't mind extending because I love questions, so people can ask, and then I don't mind extending the time from my side.
Okay.
Here.
Perfect.
So how is the situation in your Torino, Pierre?
Well, the numbers are increasing.
Oh, second wave,
actually,
third wave.
Yeah, it's not, say, it's not bad. I mean, comparing to other countries.
Like US.
Something.
Also Netherlands, no? I mean, there are other countries in Europe which are struggling a lot right now.
Yeah.
Mm. We have a couple of problems, right? We are looking at the election, we are looking at pandemic, and we are looking at Trump. We are looking at so many things.
Yeah, many issues. Yeah.
Many issues there.
Yeah.
From where are you calling now exactly, Srini? Which
So in the audience, yeah.
I'm in San Jose in California.
Ah, okay.
Near San Francisco. San Francisco is the main airport. We're
Okay.
about 35 miles from the airport is San Jose. So.
Oh, nice. You were not attacked by the fires?
I was right in the middle. All around me with 20-mile radius, we had a ring of fire, but I got saved. So.
Also an experience, I guess.
Oh, it's this is the worst experience in 30 years. I've been living here. So.
So we are about to start. I'm going to start with the videos of introduction right now.
Okay, Julian, thank you.
Okay.
Muy bienvenidos todos, alumnos. Tenemos aquí la suerte de tener unos grandes participantes. Good morning or good afternoon, Srini and Pierre. I'm going to let you now to the voice of Karsten. He's going to be the moderator for our speak today. So good luck and very welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Also, good morning from me, everybody. For all who do not know me, I'm Carsten Lemmer and the host for this session. I would like to welcome you all to our panel today, and we will explore the context of connectivity. For the subject, I'm happy to announce our two guests, Srini Srinivasan and Pier Peruccio. I will read a little introduction to both of our panelists, and then they will jump into their presentations. First, I would like to introduce Srini Srinivasan. Srini is a highly accomplished designer and entrepreneur in the field of creative design and technology development, with over 25 years of work experience in Silicon Valley, United States, and India. The UC Berkeley was the place to be for his education in product management. Currently, he's pursuing a PhD in sustainable development, and he holds an MBA and BA from Madras University, India. Presently, Srini is the president of the World Design Organization, working with its global members to promote design for a better world. And he is the chairman and CEO of Lumium Design Incorporated, which is a Silicon Valley-based world-class product design company that has developed more than 300 products. Further, he has been a keynote speaker on several design conferences across the globe on innovation and design topics. Our second panelist is Pier Peruccio. He is a design historian and curator, best known for his exhibition Olivetti Makes at the Palacios de Bellas Artes in Mexico City 2018. He is the author of several books and more than 100 articles on industrial and visual design published in international magazines. He has taught courses and workshops in Europe, USA, Latin America, and Asia. As a professor of design at the Politecnico di Torino, he works in the field of systemic design, an approach that contributes to reducing the impact of anthropic flows on natural resources, which is fits into the framework of the circular economy. Also, he is currently educational member of the World Design Organization, co-director of the Systemic Design Research and Education Center in Lyon, France, and vice head of the design school of the Politecnico di Torino. He is also the coordinator of a second level specializing master in design for arts. Thank you for coming, you two. And yeah, I would say, Srini, please take it away.
Thank you, Karsten. I'm really happy to be here. And on behalf of WDO, this is yet another event that we are doing online, and we are supporting all the member communities throughout the globe with respect to how do we keep the design interest alive. Is a classic example, and I'm very happy to share a few slides to talk about WDO and also talk about the topic of the day. So I'm going to share my screen. Just give me 1 second. I would like to thank Universidad Anaheim for giving me the opportunity. So WDO is the global international organization that's been in existence for more than 60 years. Our name has changed recently in the last 5 years, but we were known as the International Council of Societies of Industrial Design. And we are the only international platform that has members from different kind of stakeholders, you know, the universities, professional and promotional agencies, corporates, and also recently we added the municipalities. We are also one of the early organizations, non-profit organizations that were given the UN consultative status, which we are using it to a very good purpose, which you will see in the next few minutes later. We started in 1957. So today we are 63 plus years. And where we began as a industrial design promotion and professional organization back in 1957, where the focus was product design, especially the industrial design, manufacturing, and we were very customer driven. fast forward, to 2017 onwards. So we have become much more than a product design entity. So we became much more worried about the society and the effect of design on people's lives, and how do we create a better world for all of us is our motto. So therefore, we became much more collaborative with the cities, and we try to become more solution oriented for the better of the global citizens. So that's a big change from a simple product design entity to becoming solution oriented. What we do as an international voice for industrial design, we advocate, promote, and share the knowledge of industrial design, also other faculties of design, innovation that has come to power and making this world a better place. We also have our own world design agenda, which is in line with the UN Sustainable Development Goals. There are 17 goals, as we all know, that enhances the economic, social, cultural, and environmental quality of life. If you look at the picture out here, the world, we are very, very passionate about design, and we share a common knowledge, vision of designers' ability to improve the quality of life. And we recognize that the challenges of the 21st century living can no longer be ignored. As the voice of industrial design across 40 countries in all regions of the world, we have an opportunity to take action on issues that matter at the global level. As an international non-governmental organization with the UN consultative status, we hope to contribute to a solution economy and help achieve the targets set out by the UN in its 17 Sustainable Development Goals. The WTO plays a key role in transforming design practices within the industrialized countries. We play a key role in the spreading of design in emerging economies. We also play a key role in the diffusion of a design culture through all sectors of industry, as well as all levels of public government, whether they are city administration, regional, or national governments. As you can see here, these are all examples of what we have done with various communities across the globe in the last few years. This is the current board of directors. We are governed by a board of directors elected every 2 years. Currently, I am the president of World Design Organization up until October, November 2021. We just finished 1 year yesterday. And if you've been following our social media, you could see the pictures where Pier is also one of the board members, as you can see his picture. So we have a global presence. People around the world, they get elected, and it's truly an international board. Our membership is 173 members. You and I, as an individual, cannot become members. It has to be coming through a university or as a company or as a professional body. Therefore, the number of member organization looks maybe small, but the people that we address are over 400,000 people in the globe. And we have 5 different pillars, as we have said earlier, and it's well spread different regions: Latin America, Oceania, Europe, Africa, North America, and Asia. So what do we do? So programming is at the heart, where we have programs throughout the year with different regions, different membership. World Design Assembly is one of the programs that we will just see quickly. It's a 3-day event where we bring in educational conference for the day 1, and day 2 becomes election and other related to internal WDO operations. And then in day 3, we bring some key speakers to talk about the topic that we have chosen. World Industrial Design Day is our birthday. We celebrate it throughout the globe on 29th of June, first declared in 2007. More than 50 countries take place. World Design Capital, Mexico City has experienced in 2018. As most of you know, every 2 years we designate a city for the use of design and how they make people happy through the lens of design. And it has a very impactful economic, social, and cultural values, and also in environmental development. So this year, 2020, Lille Metro in France is the designated World Design Capital. And 2022, we have chosen Valencia in Spain. And 2024 is still out in the open. We have started the bid to get the next city. World Design Corporate Circle is a program that we came and put together in last October in General Assembly in Hyderabad, where like-minded large companies, we are talking about big companies which are $1 billion plus in revenue, which has a design challenges are there for each and every industry. And we aim to provide a unique leadership here to engage them, to share common design practices and solutions that can be adopted to everyone else. So this is a invite only, very exclusive club. We choose maybe 6 to 8 large companies that are not competing with each other. And we have 4 meetings per year. And then we share the findings through our annualized reports. World Design Talks, again, it's not new to Mexico, especially Toluca. We have done World Design Talks already twice, and we may be doing more. So this is a one-day workshop where we address local challenges with a global relevance. So we gather maybe 200, 300 people, and we have a very less number of speakers in the front, just a small talk, maybe 12 minutes each. And then we have a workshop where everybody participate in terms of prototyping, how they can tackle the challenge that was chosen as the topic. We have done several topics, including mobility, migration, clean water, and other relevant topics related to SDG. Another important program that we do is the World Design Impact Prize, which happens once every 2 years. And we award very impactful industrial design-based solution in a community that improves the quality of life. Again, this is unlike in the other awards where we give the award due to the beauty or the how the product looks. Here we are looking at the impact. What did the solution do? How did it solve a problem of a given community is what we are looking for. That's why the word impact is there. It's an impactful prize where innovations have taken place and we have seen some results. So that's the recognition that we provide. And then interdesign challenges we used to do since 1971. We used to do a 2-week workshop where 40 plus designers, both local and global designers, come together and solve a problem of a given city in that sense. So due to the pandemic, we converted this. It's also very difficult to get people across the world to a 2-week pro bono exercise. But now we have converted this successfully into a digital exercise. So in this, we actually use a design thinking process. We do all the empathy maps and we define and do the prototyping. And finally, when we do the implementation, we provide a report to the government, which is hosting this event for them to take it to the next steps. Fast forward during the COVID, WDO was not keeping quiet. So we actually brought together IBM and DFA. This was done in March, where we launched an initiative to see, because people were still scared. People did not know what to do during the COVID and how to react to that. So we came together. We had in a 24-hour turnaround. We converted the 180 design challenges, how we can, into a very good 7 teams. And we had 21 teams that came together across the globe. And we had 2 weeks or maybe 3 weeks of 225 designers came together and put some solutions together. These are all available on our website. And the best part of this is all the ideas generated through this design challenge, they are all IP free. So anybody can take a look at it. If they can take a solution and implement in your city, they're very, very happy, because that's the whole purpose of doing these kind of inter-design digital challenges. And as you can see here, more than 5,500 designers volunteered when we put out the call. Such is the impact of a WDO platform. So after that, we got more requests. So this time we went with the UN Women. I said, we are a UN consultative status earlier since 1974. So now here we worked with the UN Women in Asia Pacific. One of the findings of the COVID-19 design challenge was the violence against women and children are increasing because of the fact that they are spending more time together at home. It's impossible for the couple to understand or know what to do with their kids when they're used to dropping them off at the caretaker or with the grandpa or grandma. in the morning and pick them up in the evening. They both go to work. But now everything is indoor. Everything is in one location, our homes. So therefore, this problem became more prominent. So we worked with the UN Women where we created, this was much more emotional design challenge because we are playing with the people's emotions, and we got a lot of people who affected by violence, either they have witnessed it themselves or they have seen others get it. So it was such an emotional challenge that we did over a period of 2 weeks. Again, we had 26 countries and we had almost 200 people. Again, many thousands of people applied and volunteered, but we were very careful in choosing the participants because this is such a emotionally draining subject. We just concluded last Friday yet another challenge. We said we wanted to design in space for life on Earth. That was a topic we chose with ISS, the International Space Station, National Labs, which is part of the CASIS / NASA. And here the problem was we chose, how do we, there are a lot of things that you can do in zero gravity or microgravity. For example, if you're going to be producing a retina for people who are affected with diabetes, or retina is not working, the retina that we are today able to produce on this earth is much thicker than the retina that we can produce under microgravity. So that's such is an impact of why should we design things in a zero gravity or a microgravity. Those were the aspects that we discussed. We also discussed how do we commercialize this. We had 3 topics. One is, can we have an orbital university? Everything has become digital. We are looking at AR, VR as a very commonplace these days. And then can we have an orbital university where people from all over the globe can be discussing and participating in their education? We also looked at SDG, Sustainable Development Goals. What are the Sustainable Development Goals that is applicable to the space that can be taken for the Earth? And then how do you commercialize? If you produce retina in the space station, how do you make it available for people who need them on Earth? These were the topics. We had, again, 5 teams of almost 100 people, 96 participants, and we just finished the phase 1. Part of these design exercises that we do, we don't want to do this for a theoretical exercise. All the things that we have done, they're all phase 1. Now that we have completed the phase 1, we will move on to phase 2, where we will find a sponsor who is willing to take these products and make it into a reality. Therefore, people will get real benefits. So that's the goal that WDO has in converting our interdesign into a more digital interdesign, where we can work with people on a regular basis. As you can see, we are also touching upon the SDG goals at the bottom, where the quality of education is important, and industry innovation in infrastructure, as well as sustainable cities and communities, and responsible consumption. We all consume way too much than what we really need. So we need to really keep a watch on what we consume and try to reduce so that we can leave this earth for the future generations, our own kids and grandkids to come in future. Partnership is something that we really have to work together, because not one entity can do everything in this complex world. Now, to the academics' role in industries. Academic institutions, designers, and companies, they always work together to create a better world. Why? What is so great about this collaboration? Let's take a quick view. Academies or universities, they're fundamental deep knowledge. It's a place of learning right from the first year of education. As we were kids, 6, 7 years, we keep learning and we are gaining expertise, we're gaining knowledge. And as we go to the universities, as we do, PhDs and what we do, there's a fundamental deep knowledge of any technology, any music, or any artwork, anything that we do, there is a deep knowledge. That's the key word. And then we are also doing lots of peer reviews. It's just not that I'm saying, therefore, whereas we ask people who are eminent people, they are reviewing. If I write a paper, somebody is reviewing saying, yeah, this is good, or this is not good, Srini, please change it, So there's a lot of, co-creation. There's a lot of, interaction between very well-read, knowledgeable people with the deep knowledge. So there's a lot of peer reviews and research-driven data. Even at the lowest level, as soon as you finish your undergrad degree, There's a lot of research one has to do to get your master's and then on to PhD and then postdoc. So research is always one important factor in the academy and universities that we're talking about. And it's all voluntary work for Quest. Nobody, no student chooses the topic, just, somebody told them. They all love the topic. Therefore, there is a quest in their mind. Why should I pick up this topic? Because something resonated in my mind. Therefore, I'm volunteering to do this. Scientists are in the same way, right? They want to really find out something. The quest for knowledge, the quest for something new that they want to find is the one that is driving the academies and universities. And they're all, fortunately or unfortunately, they are non-profit. So they don't do anything just to gain money. Most of the time, they are just charging money just to keep them running so that people can live life at the same time contribute to the industries, to the academies. On the other hand, industries, when you start a company, you have an idea of what solution you are going to bring to the table. How are we going to do is already in the back of the mind of the founders. Maybe it's a CEO or a collection of people who came together to start a company for a solution. Before the company is formed, people come with ideas. They think, can it be done? Can it be not done? And then they come with that. So there is a purpose in terms of what the industry is going to do. And they collect money. Either they put their own fortune. You work in a company, you save for a few years, then you want to start a company. You put the money in front so that you can start playing around so that the solutions can come forward. And it's very specific technology driven. If I'm going to do a wireless product, then I'm supposed to be knowing a lot in wireless technology, or I will bring people from anywhere else who knows that particular technology. It's always specific technology driven. Very seldom you find a company that is doing medical technology and wireless technology. Of course, there are some collisions happening, but in general, it's very specific technology driven. And detailed R&D. From the research that you're doing in the universities is different to this R&D because you're very focused on one problem at a time, and you do a deep dive and make sure everything is not going to fade. That's what you do in the companies, industries R&D. And you do a lot of field testing. Whereas in the academic world, we do the research, we leave it to the future people to take it on. But here, anything that a company is taking, they have to field test it before they can move it to the market. And targeted market research, before any product is coming, they want to find out through questionnaire and different methods, is it a right product? Is this orange juice good enough for you? Is the price good enough for you? How many cups of, how many cans of orange juice will you drink in a day? This, goes by the season. Are you going to drink more during morning, afternoon, night, summertime, wintertime? So all these kind of detailed market research is done before a product is launched. And certainly it is for profits because remember the second bullet, people have put money. Funding is available means, people are saying, hey, I'm going to put this money. What is in it for me? We are very familiar with the words ROI, right? Return on investment. So we need to know what am I going to get back if I give you $100,000, how am I going to get it back? When am I going to get it back? How much I'm going to get it back? So, and then we have shareholders who need to be satisfied. If I'm going to put money today, in the far-reaching scenario, we now see the public limited companies. We buy the share for Tesla or Apple or Google so that, you think that they will go up due to the other reason that we talked about. So that's where the industry is. So now that we have seen what an academia looks like and what the industries look like, let's see what are the advantages of collaboration or why are we doing this collaboration? Academy and universities, they always want to know whatever they did research, whatever the deep knowledge that they gain, how we see industry taking it and making a solution that can be applied to the population. So they're always keen to know the industry trends so that in turn, they get the research funding. So when somebody is doing a research, we all have been there in that scenario. When we do a PhD, we are also able to maintain ourselves, with some money coming from the universities or from some grant from some company or some benevolent family has given. So the research funding is possible. That's what they're looking at when they want to collaborate with the industries. And career opportunities. Let's say we finish our master's, we decide to take a job for family reasons, for otherwise, or we are not interested in going further, we do need a job. So what's the best opportunity to work with an industry that knows your university, work with the industry that knows the general field of your study, so that you can go for career opportunities. A lot of, almost every university has a placement cell. You all are aware of it. The placement cell is nothing but collaboration with the industry to see how can we get our graduates a job. An inspiration for students and faculty. We always have the industry people come and speak to the students to give them the role model. If people want to emulate Elon Musk, maybe Elon Musk and somebody from Tesla comes and speaks to the students of our universities. We are very happy because a lot of people, the next Elon Musk can be born with those inspirational talks that the industry is giving. And for the industries, believe it or not, it's a very less expensive R&D work. If they have to take 10 years to come with a little finding of a particular technology that they want to take it to a product, people are not going to fund them. So they are looking at incremental R&D. They want to look at some innovation that has already happened with the research in the universities. They take it and then develop it into a product. And access to specialized lab. Not all the companies have elaborate facilities just like an university has. So therefore, it's a great opportunity for the industries to work with universities where they have specialized labs. Extensive research expertise. If they want, they can even bring in. I have seen many universities, not only the famous ones like the Harvard or the MIT or Stanford, even other universities have very good collaboration with the industries where they work together on projects where the industry pays some money and then get the top-notch people from the, even it could be students, doing a master's or PhD, they help a lot in conducting R&D for the companies. And then at the end of the day, what happens? These people whom they work with, they go back to the companies to start a job. They become founders or new members of the team so that they can also spoil, the riches can be shared between the people who are hired. And then they have extensive networks. So universities traditionally have extensive networks. So any industry that is participating with one university can gain a lot from that. So there is a lot of advantages of industry collaboration. We already know that. We already are doing that. How do we do that? It's always a challenge, right? How do I start? If I'm a new university, how do I get there? What should I be doing? First and foremost, you need to create a win-win partnership. Otherwise, it's not going to work. If one side is more greedy than the other, it will not last beyond the first 1 or 2 years. And why do you want to do that? What is in it for you and what is in it for the other side? So we need to set the objectives very clearly from the beginning. You may start a small research project with an industry specific to what they are doing, but we must set the objectives. Not saying you are my good friend, buddy, so let's do some research and let's do something. It's not a good way to start. You should set the objectives and be very transparent. I'm going to get this from you and you are going to get this from me. That should be very transparent right from the get-go. And develop mutual respect. Don't belittle, for example, the university professor, oh, what do you know, Srini? I've been teaching, this wireless technology for 30 years and, I'm like 70 years and what are you talking, It's not a good way. Same way, what do you know, professor? You only teach, for free, but, I've raised 100 million for my company, but I'm going to come and, tell you what you guys should do. I'm the one who's paying 5 million for this project. You must respect me. It's not a good way to go. So we need to understand each other's territories. We all have our own specialty and knowledge that we gained over the period of time. So we should be respectful to each other for a healthy relationship. And the most important aspect of all this research, the majority of the fights happen because we did not set right what is IP, what is the intellectual property that's going to come out of it, and who's going to own it? How are we going to share the profits if anything comes out of the intellectual property that's come out of the collaboration between me and this university? So this is a very big thorn in the flesh and people overlooked it. Oh, we'll see later, let's get to that some stage. It's something that, we get into real trouble. I said earlier in the presentation that when we did the COVID challenge with IBM, and the DFA, I said at the beginning of the challenge, we discussed and we said, WDO is a non-profit organization, whereas IBM is for-profit organization. But it took us some time to convince their lawyers saying, if you're doing anything together, the work that we come out of this has to belong to public domain, which means no one entity, WDO nor IBM, can claim this is my intellectual property, so you need to give me royalty of $2 per piece or whatever, right? So that's very, 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 very important. So don't forget, if you're doing this, IP has to be discussed right in the beginning. And then if you don't do a review mechanism, the company said, yeah, I'll give you 5 million. And the university says, yeah, we will do this, but they fail to review. And at the end of 6 months, the company says, I didn't get anything. I just gave you the first tranche of 1 million, but now I'm not going to give because I think you just used the money and did nothing, or you used the money for some other research than what you said you will give it to me. Even if the failure happens, let's say, research is always success and failure. So when you do success, we celebrate. When we do losses, we don't say anything. But that's what we need to be open about it. We should say, even we tried our best, we did all the possible scenarios, but we did not get the results in the milestone that we said we will do. If we said, we will do something in 6 months, we did not do that. Either it is because the subject matter is so difficult, or because we did not put enough efforts for one reason or the other. But it's always a good way to share that latest status with the parties involved. So review mechanism has to be there, a very formal review mechanism, not just a WhatsApp message saying everything is going okay or everything is not going okay, but we should set a formal recorded review mechanism where people can come together and say, yes, we did this, but yes, we did this, eureka, so that's something we should do. So I think these are, I wanted you to keep it very simple, not very complex. We can go on and on for this subject. It's a very deep subject, but the idea is to create a win-win partnership. And these are the basic 5 tenets that we should follow if you are setting up a collaboration with any industry or any university from both the sides. Let's move forward to the current day. What are we doing today? Today, we are, unlike 20 years back, even until in the last year, now COVID has taught us how to use the technology. The technologies have always been there. We are super connected. Everybody's, one thing, if they're spending money today, it's on Zoom licenses and also on getting more bandwidth, because you're spending almost 8 to 10 hours online talking to somebody, having the video. This video conference would not be possible if you're not highly connected. This video image was not possible if you did not have a very high bandwidth. So those are the networks that we are talking. Compared to when I was in, doing my undergrad or master's, there was no connectivity. There was no cell phone. There was no, what shall I say? There was no Google Drive. There was no cloud sharing. There's no Dropbox. So all of these, taken for granted today. The student of today, the young, my own kids, when they go to college, it's all given. They don't even know how we communicated. First of all, there was no Google Maps. How do I get to my university? How do I go to a restaurant nearby? I have no idea those days, right? But now we have come much, much further. We are highly connected network and easy access to everything, tools and technology. Previously, if you have to buy a drawing tool, it'll cost you an arm and a leg. Today, everything is available, maybe for free for you to test it out. If there is a super expensive SolidWorks available, but these companies are competing with the free one, so they offer it to the universities for free or very low cost. So today, whatever you want to do, it's available. Talking about tools and technology, I just was talking to somebody just 2 days ago. We are talking about the AR and VR are here and they're for real. They are no longer just imagination. So there are tools that tell us, as a designer, we could actually, if I'm designing something for you and you're sitting in Mexico City, I could, by a click of a button, we could be designing the gear of a motor together. And you can say, Srini, just go underneath that little shaft. I want to see why that is there, because that was not possible remotely in the past. So even for design industry, the AR and VR are very useful tools, and they are here for real. So we can conduct online, exhibitions. We can do operations, surgeon, can do with the AR. If I'm a specialist and you are not, I could tell you when you're doing a surgery on an operation table, I could guide you from here. So online collaboration is very, very easy now. So this picture just tells you what we are currently, it's a courtesy of a website that I picked up. And I think with that, I want to close my talk, and we all work together to create a better world. And thank you very much for listening to me. Over to Karsten.
Thank you very much. It was a very interesting talk. Before we go into questions, I would like to invite Pierre to start his presentation. Then we can have a discussion after.
Sure. Thank you, Srini. Very inspiring. So I have, of course, some comments, but maybe later. First of all, I want to start to share the screen and the presentation. Wait a second. Okay, I think it's here. Okay, great. Can you see?
Yep.
Okay, great. So first of all, let's say thank you, and first of all, good morning, and thank you for the invitation. I'm very honored to speak at the ANWAC University, even if only in a digital mode. And of course, I'm very happy to discuss with Srini and with you about the issue of connectivity. So let me say just a few words about myself. And I want to move to this first slide. So this is me sitting on the floor at Palacio de Bellas Artes. It happened in 2018 when Mexico City was World Design Capital. And of course, I hope that you remember Olivetti. Olivetti is the Italian typewriter company with industries also in Mexico, very well known for the industrial and philosophical approach to production of its founder, Adriano Olivetti. Olivetti was also the motor of, we can say, a new engine, a new alliance between industry and society, new relationships, new connectivities, just using the key word of today, between factory on one side and territory on the other one. And this is amazing because it happened in Italy, but it happened also in Mexico. So this is the real legacy of Olivetti. These are some slides about the exhibition and in particular the poster. So you see that we opened in 2018 and then we moved from Mexico City to Puebla, and we closed in May 2019. These are just some pictures of the exhibition. So long time ago, design was basically just the product. So we know that the word design comes from the medieval Latin projectus, which is the past participle of proicere, to throw something forward. So there is an idea of future in the word design. But we can say that today we move from just the products to services, strategies, systems, and experiences. So the scale of what we are designing has shifted from products and systems to experiences, to strategies, to something different. So now we are designing not only for an individual user, but for a connected web of people. And design has freed itself from industry. Let's say design got rid of industry. So we can also think about the world without industries. At the Politecnico, we of course design also in the bachelor degree. So we design lamps, tables, chairs, something like that, but we design mainly systems. So we work on circular design or systemic design. And we can say that systemic design is the ability to design and plan the flow of matter and energy from one system to another within metabolization processes, which reduce the ecological footprint and generate a remarkable economic flow. I want to share this video just to have an idea of what we do at the Polytechnic design culture. I don't know how, okay. Okay, can you? Yes.
Yep, we can see.
Great, okay. So the role of the designer has changed during the last decades. We see here Design for the Real World, the cover of this book by Victor Papanek in 1971. And Victor Papanek also affirmed that design is a harmful and phony profession. This happened in 1971. In the age of mass production, he said, when everything must be planned and designed, design has become the most powerful tool with which man shapes its tools and environments, and by extension, society. So it's interesting here because there is a very close link between designing and society. Also, the design has played a very important role also at the European level. We can say that in 2009 was delivered a report entitled Design as a Driver of User-Centered Innovation. It happened just 11 years ago. In 2011, Design Leadership Board was established to provide recommendation on how to enhance the role of design in innovation policies. And then in 2012, a new report, Design was perceived also as an innovative means to improve the quality of life. And then we have to go to 2015 with Closing the Loop, the first package on a circular economy. 2016, Retrace, a systemic approach for regions transitions towards a circular economy. Until 2020, March, a new package on circular economy strategy, new circular economy action plan, the so-called European Green Deal. So this is something that it's really, really important because design move also to sustainability, how to address this sustainable development goals in a precise way, in a very proactive way. If we see these two words, design and systems, we understand that these are two very fashionable words. So if we type the word on Google, it will return 4.6 billion results just regarding design, and 3.6 billion results regarding systems. So two very, again, fashionable words, and it happened also in 1968. And Ludwig von Bertalanffy, who was the father of the general system theory, also analyzed in the preface of his book in 1968 that the concept has pervaded all fields of science and penetrated into popular thinking, jargon, and mass media. But what lies behind these two words? There are, of course, many books. So there is a very large literature. There are several books about the systems. And in particular, I want to focus on the figure of Aurelio Peccei. Aurelio Peccei was the founder of the Club of Rome, 1968. He was also managing director of Olivetti, and he was from Turin. But in particular, he was the motor of important research on the limits of our planet. This research was published as The Limits to Growth, and there were four main authors: John Renders, Jorgen Renders on the left side of this picture, Donellas Meadows in the middle with his husband Dennis Meadows, and William Beres on the right side. In the middle here, we see Jay Forrester, the father of system dynamics from MIT. This is the cover of the book. And these are some variables, the 5 main variables that interact in analyzing this period from 19 until 2100. So the report analyzed the intersection of these 5 global variables: pollution, food, population, industrial output, and resources. And if you check this book, I'm sure that you have already heard about this book, there are many diagrams, and in particular the stock and flow diagrams. And in the middle, there is this picture that is a flow chart of the world systems. Here we have another diagram. It's a chart by Graham Turner. Graham Turner is an Australian physicist that he said the world is on track for disaster. And he compared, and we see here the different trends, and he found that the prediction nearly matched the facts. So here we are basically in not a good situation. So we have to act immediately. So this is again what we do. We do at different levels. We do at the WDO World Design Organization. We do, of course, at university. We do in companies. And we have, we say, to move from a linear model to a systemic or a circular model. Linear model, it's very easy to understand. We take material, we make products, and we dispose. So we put materials to the landfill. So it's a very linear model. The other model is on the right side. So we have different fluxes of matter and energy from one system to another with the objective to reach, as you see at the end, 0 emissions. This is something that is not really new. If we see this, you can say this systemic model coming from Copenhagen, close to Copenhagen, the name is Kalundborg in Denmark. It's a very important center. It's called Kalundborg Symbiosis. It's a partnership between 9 public and private companies. And the main principle is that the output of a system becomes an input for another one. You see Kalundborg is here. It's 100 kilometers from Copenhagen. It's close to a port and harbor. And there is a timeline. So they started to work on a, you can say, a circular economy, even if they did not talk about circular economy in 1960s. And so they started to put together 3 main industries, and then they named the system industrial symbiosis until today, where many people used to go there just to see circular economy in action. And we used to take our students there just to see again how they work. Here there are some fluxes, maybe you can see. There is on the left side GPROC. GPROC is a Saint-Gobain company. They are part of the Saint-Gobain group, and they produce drywall partitions, so gypsum walls. And there is another company, important company that started at the very beginning, Novo Nordisk. You see here in the middle, it's a Danish multinational pharmaceutical company. And the third one was Ørsted, which is an energy company. So these three were the main core of Kalundborg at the real beginning. And they share, you see here, energy, water, and other materials. So we basically do the same. We have a methodology. So we start to analyze, to explore the territory. We used to call holistic analysis. And then we move to a systemic model, a systemic project. So we start to explore the territory, and then we go to identify problems, and from the problems, opportunities. So here we have the first phase with two steps, step 1 and step 2. The step 1 is mainly based on desk research. So you see database, reports, statistics, and so on, from quantitative data to qualitative data. On the step 2, we go for a field research. So we move and we also make some surveys. We arrive to visualize a gap analysis, and we arrive to identify some criticalities and potentialities. And from these criticalities, we redesign the fluxes. So here you see the basic schema to arrive to some new inputs for the system. It works in this way.
Systemic design plans the relationships between the components that generate the system, enhances identity and local resources, and produces growth and well-being for the individual and the community. The relationships between the components are generated through interaction to find a balance. The result is the quality of the ensuing system. Identity is based on awareness of one's own values, expressed through behavior. Comparison between local communities produces global culture. If we intervene in an innovative manner on the processes and their relationships, we can create a blue economy. Growth occurs throughout a poiesis and produces sustainable growth.
I have also some case studies, 3 main case studies. One regards a specific territory close to Turin. Another one regards the production of concrete. So we go to a particular material. The third case study regards design for behavioral change to predict and to encourage virtuous behaviors. So the first one, I go through in a very quick way.
Exactly, Pierre. We have to kind of speed up a little bit.
Yeah, sure. So this is the region. So this is Piedmont region. And here we analyze the territory, analyzing 5 main areas of research. So this is just an example. This is the sawmill you see here. We started to analyze the supply chain. So how they work, what they do produce, basically the process. And of course, the inputs on one side and the output on the other side. And we analyze also on the territory what happened at a regional way or in international territory. So if we see this last slide, we see that there are some outputs, material flow that goes from the company to other companies. So this is very interesting because there is an interesting also economic flow. The other example is concrete. So concrete, we know that is the most widely used building material in the world. And of course, they produce, producing concrete, we generate a lot of CO2 in atmosphere. So we had to analyze the composition of concrete. And you see here all materials. And we started also to analyze also how to reduce, in particular, the use of natural raw material. You see here sand, so fine aggregate, and gravel or crushed stone. We started again to analyze the company, the territory. We saw some rice pad fields close to Piemonte, close to Torino, and there is the rice husk, which is a very interesting natural material rich of silicon. So this is the schema, and we work with some concrete companies. So we started to use 20% of the cement, and we substitute with silicon of vegetable origin. We tested it in some laboratories. So you see, maybe you can recognize the natural material here. So this is the concrete after the flexural strength text. Here again, maturation phase. And here the test during compression test. So 3 different phases. The last case study is here. It's just what I mentioned, design for behavioral change, and working with a company from Milano. And we designed a book that guided the people living in a smart city to understand the most technical systems, because a smart district is something that is very hyper connected, let's say, and very with a lot of technologies. So we decided to help them also to adopt sustainable practices at environmental, social, and economic level. These are the 3 books: Welcome Kit, Conscious Living, and Your Home. There is the description of the entire system and also the collaboration among the different systems. It seems something very complex and not so easy to understand, but we publish also an app with a very clear way to represent the systems. These are just some pictures. And so I go back to the conclusion. This is the last slide. Thank you. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you, Pierre. Very beautiful presentation. I think we all got a very good insight of the systemic design, how complicated but super interesting it can be. Unfortunately, we are a little bit out of time for questions, but I think it would be very interesting and helpful if you could point our students to where they can find more information about what you do, and if they want to educate themselves about it, where can they go to find more information?
Yeah.
I think we can have a time for a small question, if you can answer it fast, please. Srini, this is a question for you. Do you think that nowadays the market or the investors understand the complications of research so designers can have enough time to develop new products?
Absolutely. So if you look at, despite the pandemic, I live in the Silicon Valley, the global capital of venture capitalism. So we see a lot of movement in terms of new companies coming up. So certainly there is a scope for us even during the difficult time, because if you don't do research for future, the future is not there. So people do understand with the money who are investors.
Thank you, Srini. Pierre, this is a question for you. In base of the systemic design process, which recommendation you can give us to analyze our suppliers?
Well, first of all,
complicated question.
It's a complicated question. Let's say that if we start issues, so I think it's better. So first of all, I think we need to educate people, starting also from the high school until different levels, university and so on. So let's say that the first step is to see some circular economies projects in action. And there are many, many positive and many virtual examples in the world. So not only, of course, in Italy, but also in Mexico and other countries. Let's say that I was in Chinampas, in Xochimilco, in the Chinampas in Mexico City, and it's an amazing place. So also farmers play an important role, I think. So we have also to preserve pre-Hispanic also way of seeing also agriculture, see also industry, we can say also the production, how to make the cultural, the culture of a place, the culture of the tradition of a place. So there are many examples, not only connected to the last decade, but also if we go in the previous time, as I said earlier, systemic design comes from an ancient era.
Thanks. Yeah, I think it's complicated, and nowadays it's very important to analyze all these factors that you already speak. So we have a nice homework to do here in Mexico about all this process and new design ideas. So in the name of the university, we thank you a lot for sharing us this knowledge, and I'll let Karsten to finish the talk, and big hugs to your house, and I hope everything is okay.
Thank you.
Thank you, Julian.
Thank you very much.
I think there's nothing further to add. I also would like to thank you for your beautiful talk. And I hope the students got the insight they needed to continue your efforts here in Mexico. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you. It was very nice to meet all of you. So, muchas gracias.
Muchas gracias, indeed. And thank you for, for inviting us. Thank you so much. Thank you, Srini. Your speech was really, really great. I have, of course, as I told you, some comments, but maybe next time I will.
Maybe in private on
exactly,
WeChat.
Exactly. Sure.
All right. Thank you. Have a fantastic day. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye.